It's your boy Tenku, and you know what? Let's just go ahead and get started. This week, I want to talk about the most popular anime of the season, of course, and that is Rising of the Shield Hero. Now, for those of you who haven't watched it, which I don't think there is anybody because it wouldn't be the most popular anime of the season, but it revolves around 4 heroes that get summoned to another world, so it's an isekai anime, and I've been watching isekai since I was a wee lad, very small. Well, not small, younger, we'll say. I've been watching isekai since, the 90s, with SK Flone, with El Hazard, things like that. So I love isekai animes. I know the markets are oversaturated with them, and a lot of people are like, hey, don't understand why it's taking over so much. It's because they're popular and a lot of people like it. What I like about this is the premise. It's about our boy Nafumi, who gets summoned to another world, and he's the shield hero, along with 3 other heroes, the spear, the sword, and the bow. And he's hated on right away. Nobody likes him nor respects him because he has the shield and not any of the other cool, offensive weapons. And of course, one of the first things that happens to him is he gets framed for crimes he didn't commit, and gets ousted, and everybody treats him like crap because everybody thinks he's like some perverted when he's not. And so it's about his struggles to, earn the respect of the people in the world he doesn't want to be in the world he doesn't want to protect, but he has to in order to try to get home. So he ends up getting a slave who becomes his sword, named Raphtalia. And of course, Raphtalia, we all know, is best girl of the year. Everybody's, talking about her online. Everybody loves her. But my favorite character does happen to be Philo, because one, Philo is hilarious. She's adorable, and she's kind of gluttonous. We all know that she loves to eat pretty much anything she can get her hands on. Don't worry, guys. I still think Raphtalia is best girl. I'm just saying Philo is adorable in her own right. In the most recent episodes, we finally see that he unlocked the Raid Shield and what it did to Raphtalia, gave her that curse. So he has to go to the church to try to get the pure holy water to reverse the curse. And this episode that just came up is mainly about Philo and to introduce Malti, which those of you we find out at the end of the episode is actually Mine's sister and first in line to the throne of the kingdom. They open up with Raphtalia and Nafumi fighting. So Raphtalia is kind of messed up because she's still cursed from when she stopped him when he was in rage mode. And he decides that we're going to cut our adventure short and we're going to go to the main capital, even though he doesn't want to get the holy water he needs to cure her curse. And while they're on their way back to the town to get everything ready to go, they run into Malti, who just loves the floras that's around the birds that they have in this world. And when Malti sees Philo, they start become friends, playing around, frolicking, and all this good stuff. So he's like, just go ahead, play with this girl, make friends, we'll meet you back at the town, and then we'll get going. And the adventure starts where, Malti comes up and asks them to take her to the main city. At this point, they don't know that she's first in line to the throne, daughter of the king. And so they agree to do it for a reward. And they start going. And the funniest part of this episode is definitely when it's nighttime and Raphtalia and Nafumi look over and all they see is Malti's dress laying on the ground. And they're freaking out because they don't know what happened to her. And they kind of get in their minds that Philo ate Malti. And so, the whole burying the evidence, like, hey, don't mention this to anybody, we'll destroy the evidence, nobody will ever know that we had this girl with us, because they think that she's just a child of a nobleman at that time. And then you find out that Philo is just very fluffy and her feathers are comfortable, and Malti is actually sleeping in Philo, and Raphtalia actually ends up kind of doing the same thing when she feels how soft and comfortable Philo is. We get to the town and everything's going good. He sends Philo off with Malti to go get their reward because he doesn't know where they're going. And all of a sudden, he starts getting chased down by a guard. And he takes off. Understandably so. Some people might think, well, why is he running from this guy? He's just, trying to ask questions. But if you've been through everything that Nafumi has been through, then you kind of run too. Because every interaction he's had with the palace guards or the city guards has been negative. They've always arrested him, pointed their spears at him, swords, stuff like that. So, of course, he takes off. And he runs through town and he loses the guard. And the spear hero comes out of nowhere and wants to start fighting with Nafumi. And of course, Nafumi's like, dude, what are you doing? We're in the middle of town. Why are you attacking me? And we find out because freaking Chode spear hero over here wants to fight him because he saw Philo and he thinks Philo is like just a little girl or an angel. And we find out some really weird things about the spear hero, how he thinks that he's really into blonde angels, and that's exactly what Philo looks like in her little girl form. And so the spear hero just starts attacking Nafumi, and of course Nafumi's defending himself, deflecting deflecting the attacks. And the spear hero is like wrecking the freaking town. You know, he knocks over some food stalls, destroys some food stalls, starts making holes in the buildings, just in the middle of the capital, destroying the town. And the Nafumi's like, bro, there's people here. What are you doing? And of course, this starts a riot with everybody. They start fighting amongst themselves. And here comes Mine with her royal authority to see, hey, I'm going to make this an official duel. Everybody needs to calm down and stop, stop fighting amongst themselves and watch this official duel. And, Fumi, of course, doesn't want to fight because he has no reason to, because he knows Philo's Philo. And so that's when we find out about Malty, and that Malty's the next in line to the throne. She has more authority than Mine, which really, really irritates Mine, but I like it because she comes in and is like, no, look at what you're doing around here. We're not doing this. She apologizes to the people and stops this duel from happening. And that's when Nafumi notices that the spear hero is wearing a cup, because, as we all know from a couple episodes ago, he got kicked in the groin from Philo and set flying, which is hilarious. Every little victory that they get is very satisfying with these two idiots that keep attacking them. Philo runs up, and this mentions how she loves to pull the carriage, and how her master likes to have her pull the carriage. And of course, the spear hero would be like, "You're having her pull the carriage to that fat bird?" And Philo gets very upset about this because obviously she's the bird. One thing that they did cut out here that they didn't mention that they do in the manga is there's a part where Philo says she loves it when her master rides her. She gives, "Hey master, why don't you ride me now? Let's run around the town." And of course, people, see that her in her little girl form and not the big bird. And so it's funny, the little comedy put in there. They didn't put that in the anime. They did the whole, I like to pull the carriage thing instead. But to each their own. If you haven't read the manga, I recommend you do, because there are a lot more jokes in there, and they do give you a lot more context that they don't put in the anime, obviously for, reasons. Anyways, Philo gets mad because he mentions the fat bird, and she's like, "That's the second time you call me a fat bird," and Spear Hero's an idiot, so he's like, "What are you talking about?" Of course, Philo turns back into her bird form, kicks him right in the groin again, and sends him flying, and this makes Nafumi laugh. She turns back into a little girl, and he pets her on the head, says, "Good job," and Raftalia standing there the entire time and is like, "You find this funny?" He's like, "Come on, you shouldn't be doing that." He has a smirk, he's happy. The last thing that I do want to mention about this too is the important interaction that you have when all this is going on. When they come back into town, Nafumi and Raftalia go to the church to get the holy water because they need it to heal her curse. And you see in this episode exactly how much Raftalia means to Nafumi, how much both of them mean to him, but Raftalia especially this episode, because he goes to the church and the Pope's there, and the Pope's talking his mess. Nafumi's just like, "Listen, I just want the holy water so I can hear Raftalia." And they go, "Well, you need to make a donation." And he's like, "Well, how much do you guys want?" And they basically say a gold coin to get a pure holy water. And Raftalia's like, "No, that's too much. You shouldn't be spending that." And he straight up looks at Raftalia and tells her, "Listen, you're worth way more than a gold coin. You are way more important to me than one gold coin. I'll pay whatever it takes to get you healed. That's how much you mean." And so, Raftalia does her little blushing thing, and he pays the gold coin, and they bring out the holy water, and they try to jip him. They give him like the weakest holy water that they have there. And since he has the skill for, reading potions and reading their kinds of abilities and their levels, he sees that right away. He's like, "Guys, you guys trying to rip me off? What the hell? You guys said you were going to give me the most potent stuff you had." And then the Pope tries to play it off and blame the little maiden and saying, "Why did you bring me this weak holy water when he wanted the pure holy water?" And you can tell that the priestess there said it was like, "This is what you kind of told me to do." He plays it off by trying to act all holier than thou, and now Fumi's not buying it. He's like, "Dude, just give me my potion." He verified it was pure, and they bounced out of there. And that's when they went and had the encounter with the spear hero. So the end of our episode has Malty asking to speak to the shield hero in private, and he obliges her. They end up going to the armorer shop, the one that he always goes to in town, because it's like one of the few people he trusts in this capital. And Malty's sitting there and introducing herself and apologizing for not telling her who she was in the beginning, and trying to talk to the shield hero and trying to listen, because she's actually become friends with Philo, and Philo likes her, and Raftalia is more open. But Nafumi just straight shuts her down, saying, "Listen, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to listen to you. I can't trust anything you say." And obviously, why would he? Because everything that her family has put him through. And that's pretty much where they ended. I can't wait until the next episode to find out what's going on. Of course, I know what's going on because I read the manga, and I do highly recommend you read the manga if you like the anime. There's a lot more information there, and it's really cool and fun. So I want to close and thank everybody for coming by to the channel. Please subscribe. If you guys make comments, go ahead and put comments in there. We can have a discussion. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, all the social medias. And I do hope you enjoy. Thanks for stopping by.